How do we actually estimate energy requirements? You need to look at several components. The energy that you spend on your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, and the energy that you're expending when you're undergoing physical activities. It's pretty much impossible to do a direct measurement on a live human because you basically can't separate out tissue from the body and stay alive. So researchers use indirect methods, which tend to be less accurate. We're going to base body composition on this assumption. Body weight is going to equal fat and lean tissue. That includes body water. You have to remember that the weight that you gain or lose doesn't tell you anything about your body's composition and how it might have changed. So weight is really just sort of the subjective measure that a lot of people use to judge their level of fatness, and it's really not terribly accurate. Being overweight means being over fat to most people. If you think about athletes, they have really dense bones and they have a lot of musculature. And based on the current standards that some people use, they may be considered overweight, but they actually have very little body fat because they have so much muscle mass and their bones are so dense. The opposite of that, people who are inactive may seem to be fit or thin or of a good body weight when they have too much body fat and not enough lean tissue to be healthy. So how much should you weigh? And how do you know if your weight is appropriate for your height? And how do you know if your weight is negatively affecting your health? They seem like pretty easy questions to answer, but even experts oftentimes can't agree on what the answers are. Great video there. Make sure you watch the ones that are posted here, of course. So how do you define healthy weight? It's going to be defined by 3 criteria. Having a weight that is within a suggested range for your height. Having a fat distribution plan, or pattern, that is associated with low risk of illness and premature death. And having a medical history that shows that you are not engaging in harmful behaviors, so you don't have elevated levels of bad blood cholesterol, you have normal or reasonably normal blood glucose levels, and you have good blood pressure. Oftentimes, people who meet those criteria don't gain a health advantage by changing their weight. So if you don't meet those criteria, you need to consult with a healthcare professional and make sure that you are changing your lifestyle to improve your health. I remember doing this as a kid, right? You compare your weight with the standard weight for height table or chart. Those tables are often used. They're fairly commonly used, but they may not be the best method of evaluating your body weight. A better method is looking at your body mass index and using that as a baseline to figure out whether or not your body weight is reasonable. And that can also help you monitor your body weight or your body composition and its changes over a period of time. So what is body mass? Spit it out, body mass index. It's going to describe your weight relative to your height. So BMI is going to be weight in kilograms over height in meters squared. It gives you a ratio. A healthy body weight, in most cases, is going to fall between a BMI of 18.5 and 24.9. Under 18.5, you're underweight, and overweight, you're above 25. The average BMI of adults in this country is 26.5, which means that many of us in this country are overweight. It's a good video, and there are also videos peppered throughout this presentation, not just on a single slide. So like here, where'd that go? Here at the bottom of this, you see healthy body weight. That's a good video too. Make sure you're watching all of these. You know I'm going to say that. This is a good one also. So you do need to be careful when you're looking at BMI, because they reflect height and weight measures only and not body composition. Again, a football player or a weightlifter may be considered overweight because of that heavy bone, heavy dense bone, and a lot of muscle mass. So they might be overweight relative to BMI, but they are not over fat. And in fact, many professional athletes have higher BMI measurements, but are very healthy because their blood glucose levels are great, their cholesterol levels are great, and their blood pressure is great.